welcome to this Colognes channel. Today I'm going to share with you and rank 17 Parfums de Marly fragrances for men. So I'm going to go from my least favorite to my top. So if you're in the market for a Parfums de Marly fragrance, you need to watch this video. There's more Parfums de Marly fragrances, but some of them have been discontinued, so I kind of left them out. And I will start with the worst fragrance, and let's just preface it with the fact that I usually love Parfums de Marly fragrances. They're great, but this one is the one that I smelled and I was like instant no. I hated it, frankly, and it is Kalan. I really dislike it, and I just don't have much to say about it. I don't get on with it. Let me know in the comments if you have got a different opinion as well. I want you to try and tell me why I might like it. Next up, we've got Percival. It's the second one from the bottom because I think this fragrance is kind of a love or hate. It doesn't warrant, in my opinion, the hefty price tag. It's a very nice fragrance, fresh, blue, and all of that. But to me, it's just nothing special. And there's so many more fragrances from Parfums de Marly that you should check out first. Next is one that I think a lot of people love, but I'm not the biggest fan of, and it is Godolphin. This fragrance, to me, it's a bit heavy on the spices. It's very, very spicy, very kind of in your face, and it does share something that Kalan does as well to my nose. So I think that's why those two together are at the bottom, because it's just not my cup of tea. But if you love maybe Tom Ford, like Tuscan leather sort of a scent, you might like this one. To me, this is absolutely at the bottom, and I wouldn't recommend it to you guys. We're going a little bit up, and this one I would say is the one that I would say, oh, you smell nice, the first one out of them. But I think, again, I prefer some other fragrances much more. This is Pegasus Exclusif. I think Pegasus is great by itself. It didn't need the exclusive version in this case. And to me, this reiteration of Pegasus smells like there's something odd in it that I just don't like. I don't know if you feel the same, or maybe you prefer the Pegasus Exclusif, but I just don't get on again with it, and that's why I never really talk about it on this channel. Next up, we've got Darley. Again, a nice fragrance. Okay, this one, don't hate at all. I would really love to be sitting next to a guy that smelled like this. Very nice, minty, fresh, but something that, again, to me, is not wow. It's not different enough, or it doesn't give me that wow factor that I want fragrances to give me, because I look for that for me to recommend them to you guys. It's a nice fragrance, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing hugely special in my opinion. Next up is, I know I'm going to probably get some slack for this. I'll caveat this. This is my opinion about because I've smelled it 2 times now. Okay, so my opinion might evolve and change because the other fragrances I'm much more experienced with. But this one, because it's the newest release from Parfums de Marly, I'm giving it room to move up in this list. It's kind of like in the middle, lower middle. So it's Althair. I think that's how you pronounce the name of it. And to me, I smelt it and I was like, this is kind of giving me like 1 million vibes, but I don't hate 1 million. I actually love 1 million, but I would choose 1 million over this. That's the struggle I have. Althair, maybe I'm not seeing something that other people are seeing. Probably it'll be like a nice fragrance. Oh, you know what it reminds me of? I just thought about it. A bit of pure Habdan. It's got this weird soapy, like you're in a locker room with guys, like after like a gym session at school, and it smells like this. There is this like weird thing that pure Habdan also had from Mugler, and Althair also has that, and perhaps that is what I quite just don't get on with fully. But I'm open to it. I might get a bottle and test it out and maybe I'll change my mind. But this one, I'm in two minds about. I like some of it, some of the notes. It reminds me of 1 Million. But then the other notes, I'm like, oh, I don't know. So not the biggest fan so far. Next 3 fragrances, to me, they were hard to distinguish. They're all kind of in a similar bracket. So although I've put one lower than the other, I just wanted to say that all 3, they're kind of in one row, to me at least, and it is Habdan, Carlisle and Oajan. And I've put Habdan the lowest and Carlisle, I'm looking at my list, the highest out of the 3. And they're all amazing wintry fragrances. They've all got amazing depth to them. I would consider them sexy fragrances. I think here is where we're getting to the good stuff, to the ones that I personally love. My woman's perspective on these is that they are wonderful. Here, from this point on, you'll smell amazing, okay? If you smell like these fragrances. First, Habdan, amazing caramelly green apple, really, really good fragrance if you like that cross between a freshie and a gourmand. Next, we've got Oajan. This is another one that I love. It's apple cinnamon. It's this rich, spicy, really warm fragrance. Really, really sexy, and it does remind me a bit of Angel's Share from Kilian. If you love that one, you'll probably love Oajan as well. And then we've got Carlisle. The nutmeg and the patchouli and the apple are absolutely amazing. To me, this one is nice, and then perhaps maybe the nicest by a little bit, just because of the slight freshness it has. And I think most people would actually opt for Carlisle out of all the 3, but they are amazing fragrances. Next up, we got another amazing fragrance. It is Galloway. This is a solid freshy, especially in the opening. I really enjoy it. In the dry down, it kind of, for me, it's a tiny bit of a letdown, but it's still an amazing fragrance. This is like this blue shower fresh sort of a cologne. It's very intense, it's refreshing, it's extremely manly. It's great for this youthful energy, I would say, if you're somebody who loves like a super ultra masculine fragrance, but you want to go niche and you want something that will smell expensive. So very good. This one is a nice one. It's like a step above like something like Versace Pour Homme, for example, or Versace. Next up, we've got Pegasus. This one is one of those guilty pleasures. It's an extremely sexy fragrance to my nose, and it's this almond, but heliotrope, but it's extremely cold and very intense. This one, I'm no kidding you, but it actually makes me shy. It's that sensual. So if you're looking for a fragrance to make women feel like this, then try this one. But it's truly, there's something about the notes. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do with myself, literally. Next up, we've got, and here I've got the bottles, and Greenley. This amazing spicy cedarwood scent, a freshie that has got huge projection and longevity. That's why I love it so much and recommend it. It's perfect for active lifestyles. You are working outside, you're like a sporty person going to the gym. This is an amazing strong freshie. It's green, it's slightly bitter. It's so cool in a fragrance. Like, you don't smell this sort of a scent every day, so it's totally worth the money. Next up, I've put another scent that it's the OG. I love it so much, and it's Herod. This rich tobacco spicy scent, it's so good, and that vanilla is so creamy and smooth. If you like something more mysterious for the winter time, for example, or maybe for evenings, but you want to smell mysterious, rich, this to me smells like Dubai, like somebody who loves fragrances and lives in Dubai, and the weather is always good, but he loves wearing rich fragrances that are kind of thick and sweet and spicy. Love this one. The only downside is the longevity of this one, and projection. It's not the best, that's why it's lower down in this favorites list, but it's still an amazing scent. Now we're getting to the top 4 fragrances. So number 4, these I really love. And by the way, let me know in the comments, what would you put in number 1 before you know my number 1? What would you put from Parfums de Marly on number 1? My number 4, it is Sedley. But to be honest, all of these in the top 4 are just amazing. Sedley to me is number 4 because it's got projection, longevity, everything like that, and it's so sparkling fresh at the beginning, like Sprite, but then it's got this really calming lavender base. It's the best of both worlds. You've got freshness but also this suaveness. This is for somebody who is very suave. It's slightly romantic, perfect for a date, but you could also wear it every single day in like fall and winter time as well. But definitely something that is sexy but also calm and reserved in a good way, like reserved, put together. This is that guy to me. Really love this one. Number 3 on this list, and 2 are kind of, I would say they're together, so this is like maybe even a number 2 in some lists. This is one that was a love at first sniff for me. I adore it, and this is a scent that I've seen like really good reactions. Like people react to it crazily. They love it, whether it's a guy or a woman, they love it. And I was the same. I was like, take me, I love it. It's Haltane. Man, I want to just smell it. The only thing that Parfums de Marly, if I can say something, the caps, they sometimes take off these like the rings from the perfumes, and I hate that. They should like sort it out and make it magnetic. Come on, that would be so good, such a good addition. Man, this is earthy, spicy, juicy as well, like red fruity. It's leathery. It's super masculine, but it also has got nice sweetness to it, like praline sweetness to it. And it's got huge projection. It's a really sexy, badass scent. Man, I love it. If you smell like this, I'm like speechless. It's that sort of wow fragrance. It really is. You have to at least sample it. I'll put a link to a sample website as well that I use, because you at least have to sample it. It is amazing. And for my number 1 and 2, they kind of go together, because number 2 for me is Layton from Parfums de Marly. This is sort of a scent that is, you know, simple, fresh. You're like, oh, it smells maybe something similar. But man, it's got something special. It's crisp green apple. It's this lavender. It's got a bit of vanilla. It's fresh. It's super long lasting. It's extremely attractive. To me, this scent is a one that if you're a guy and you want to smell amazing, maybe you just want to have one fragrance in your collection, this would be it. This would be a great choice, because it's just so addictive. It's perfect for all year round. You can wear it in the summer, in the winter, you can wear it on a date. Everybody will be asking you, what are you wearing? It's that sort of a fragrance. Everybody loves it. It smells expensive, but it doesn't smell too out there for a niche fragrance, you know, because some niche fragrances can smell a bit odd. This one is not like that. It's nice, crowd pleasing, but amazing and quality as well. And number 1 at the moment for me is Layton Exclusif. It is this baby. Wow reaction again. Every time my husband wears this, I love it, and I always smell it so strongly in the air. It smells absolutely amazing. And how is this different from Layton? Why is it number 1? To me, it's because it's got this green bitterness and oriental spiciness in it, and it makes it for such a different projection in the air. It smells more interesting than Layton, although Layton, I love it for the crowd pleasing quality of it. This may be slightly less crowd pleasing, but it's more interesting, more original, and that in itself can garner you compliments and make you feel like maybe start a conversation with somebody. This still has got that freshness, that green apple, that lavender, but it also has got this great green bitterness and spices that make it so original, so intense, so manly. Yeah, this at the moment is my absolute favorite. Which one would you put in number one? Let me in the comments down below. I'll link all of these and any samples for them that I can find in the description of this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.